I can turn this into a meat locker. Look at this pump. Good morning. It is September 15th. I was going to be working on the master bedroom air conditioners and office air conditioners, but I'm having an issue with the marine air conditioner. I need to do a descaling on it and a algae treatment on it. So I'm going to do that work because the air conditioner is basically overheating and shutting down. And I really like, since that's where I sleep, I really like having that working. I did clean the strainer bucket last night, but that didn't do any good. It was extremely clogged, and I have a feeling the algae is also in the line. So I'm going to attack that next later. I got my pump set up here. It's pumping water. This is water coming out of the air conditioner. You can see a little bit of cruds come out of it, but not that much. So I may have to try pumping some through the water. I'm going to add some descaler now, just a little diluted muric acid. So I'm going to go get that and put that through later. Well, slowly, that used to be nice clean water, so we're slowly clearing out whatever gunk's in there, but not as much as I was expecting. But it's only been running for about 3 or 4 minutes, so we'll let it run for a while later. Okay, I've spent a couple hours descaling this, and the dirty water, I've already taken it up top. But as I was putting everything back together, the pump was mounted right here, and I put in a bleed valve in it, and I bleeded it, and the water came to right here. It wouldn't come up any higher than that, which meant this pump was above the water line, and this pump needs to be below the water line. Even right here, it's just a tiny bit, but I was able to take it off of this, bleed it here to get the water into it, and then let it start up and work just fine. And of course, until you lose your vacuum, if you take it out of the water and you disconnect the cables, it'll be fine. So now I'm going to have to move this pump to underneath, have to make some sort of little platform underneath there. I'm going to shut it down. It's been running for almost 2 hours now without any issues, where before, about every 10 minutes, it was shutting itself down because it was overheating later. Okay, the pump is moved. We have our bleed valve right there. And then underneath, there's the little pump on its little platform, sitting nice and pretty. We got the supply line coming in, which we'll need to secure. And then the supply line, we got lots of hose on it now, so we'll eventually need to clean it up a little bit later. Okay, water is on. I don't know if you can see it, but now see, that's basically right there is where the water line outside the boat is. You can actually see it move. If I open this, you'll see it go down, and maybe it'll come back up. It's coming up a tiny bit. Barely moving. Okay, gonna go turn, because you should see that water shoot up and go on in. You can't see it up there, but you should see it jump up right here really quick. So did you see it? I'm gonna go work on the other air conditioners here now. Later. We are going to assemble this box here. I'm gonna try to use this guy, both the voltage box and the relay box, and maybe the circuit breaker box too. That's the plan, to turn this into our pump control box. It's either gonna be the distribution box or the pump control box, or both of them. I have another one of these which we will use if this does not have enough room. Okay, so here's the circuit. From the main circuit breaker, we have a 40 amp breaker comes in. It brings in 220. It switches this, but then you also get neutral and ground. So you have those 3 wires coming in. From that, we will pull off 110 for the pump. We will pull off 110 for the 5K AC unit, and it'll have a 15 amp breaker. And then for the 20K BTU air conditioner, we will have a 30 amp breaker, and there's where it gets its voltage. And then when it needs the pump, it will have a 220 volt coil relay, and the 5K one has a 110 coil relay, but they both switch the 110 that goes to the pump through the 5 amp breaker. And actually the 5 amp breaker goes there, and then it goes out to the pump, and the pump gets its ground and neutral from these 2 lines here, as does the 5K. Good morning. It is September 16th. I'm up here in the salon just Did a little cleanup of the galley, and now I'm getting ready to start wiring in the new box later. This box is done. We also got our breakers in. Got the breaker for the 20,000 BTU AC. Got the one for the 5,000 BTU AC, which will be the office. And then finally we got the breaker for the pump. And of course we got the 220 relay and the 110 relay, and then our distribution buses for bringing in voltage. We're going to drill some holes out. That's what I'm going to start getting wired up here later. All the wiring that I can do in the box while sitting here comfortably, I've done. So I'm now going to move to the floor, take the old box off, and mount the new box there, and then start bringing wires into it and get it all hooked up. I'm going to get the main power wire and the 2 wires that would go to the pump, and I'll go ahead and also get the wires that would go to that unit, but I'm going to hook them up and hook the main power up to the box, and then see if we can bring the air conditioner to life. And then that'll probably be my lunch break time, and then after lunch I will get the 5K office one wired up and see how it works, and we'll actually let this one run during lunch to cool this area off a little bit more later. Okay, so I got the box mounted. I've started running the wires, but it's later than I thought, so I'm going to go ahead and take a break for lunch because I'm hungry and getting grouchier than I already am. So working on some good hangry here. It's like the next door. Oh, yep, the next door neighbor is going out. You can get a little bit of shot through the porthole. Maybe it'll pull them in. Yeah, there they go. Okay, let's go make some lunch. That box, everything but the 5K air conditioner is wired into it. That one is completely wired. I could actually put the cover on it, but I do need to fix one wire that I removed when troubleshooting it. But we're going to see if it'll power up here. So I'm going to walk down into the engine room. I'm going to open up the C-cup. We can turn water on. This thing shouldn't need to be reprimed. Okay, it's all open. I do not see like any major flood occurring at the moment. There appears to be some water in the lines. Okay, well, let's go start turning breakers on and see what we get. Wow! Oh! And I hit myself on the head there. At least it had the rubber protection. Jeannie added a while back. I don't know how many head bruises. She's prevented me from dying from concussions. Okay, well, that powers up, and we should have a red LED on the panel back there saying we have power. Ow. Hey, look, we got a little red LED on, so that's a good start. That's my pump. It is showing power. Okay, so there's power to the pump. That's good, and this should put power to the AC. We got power to the AC. Now let's see what temp it is set to over here. What mode it's in. It's off. Heat. I don't want heat. There's cooling. Set it to 78. Hey, it came on. Okay. We got air. Pretty good stream of water. Okay, I'm gonna let it run for a while, and assuming it all works, then maybe we'll get the other one opened up and finish its wiring. I'm gonna go take a break for a few minutes later. We're back in the master bedroom. Just started a little bit of work on the 5K unit. The main unit, it's been running for a couple hours now, and it's cooled it down from 82 to 78 really quick. Later. Okay, the power box is all wired completely. The small AC unit is wired, so we're going to go turn power onto it. I could go ahead and get it hooked up because I just noticed its screw is there. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We're gonna go turn power back on. Okay, so that much work. Why the hell is he turning on? Of course, I just probably killed him because I did that. Let's do pump and other AC unit. Hey! Thinks it's 85 in here. It thinks it's on 81, 85, 83. What does that mean? Let's go. Mode. There we go. Now we're on cooling, and that's doing nothing. We got blinking lights. Great. Proprietary circuit boards. Yeah, let's look at the manual. Okay, well, I'm going to go into diagnostic mode. So, bye. I've dug into that thing a little bit, and as far as I can tell, I mean, the remote and the little display, they all work just fine. But the control box just seems to basically be dead. I'm gonna call them. It's a brand new unit, see if I can get them to send me a new control board. Maybe I'll look at reverse engineering it a little bit more. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna do a little cleaning. You can see this place is an absolute disaster, but you know, this unit's coming on just fine, cycling nicely. Later. Was taking pictures of the other unit, looking for a serial number and information like that, so that when I contact them on Monday, I could say, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm seeing. The label on the unit, it has a check mark for whether the unit's 220 or 115. This was supposed to be a 115 unit, was my understanding, but what's checked is 220. Well, if this is really 220, that would certainly explain why nothing does anything when you turn power on. That guy is now rigged as a 220 unit. This transformer here says 220 on it also. So I'm going to go throw main power on and then I'm going to flip this guy. Oop, it started. Okay, so there was the issue. Stupid thing's a 220 unit, which means that relay, I think I have another relay here, which I might be, of course I got to run another power line to that one though. But pump's not going to come on. No pump activity. Why is the pump not doing anything? I don't know. Even though it's not showing me 220, that definitely gave me pump though. It's interesting. Now we got water. Okay. So at least we got cooling water going. Yeah. Blowing air. Not exactly brutally cold air. I don't know what setting this thing's on though. Yeah, it's supposed to be air conditioning and high. Oh, there goes the compressor on. It's starting to get cooler now. Yeah, 72, 71, 70, 69. Definitely getting cooler in here. 66, 65, 63, 62. Pump didn't click over. 61, 60, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55. Yeah, this puppy's blowing really cold. 54, 53, 52. Definitely working. So yeah, it's definitely a 220 unit. Oh, 50. Are we going to go below 50? Oh, 49. Holy cow. We can turn this into a refrigerator almost. 47, 46, 45. Holy cow. 42, 41. I think we got the fridge upstairs set to 37. Yeah. All right. We can make this a fridge. We got the insulation for it. Let's see if it'll complete a cycle. Let's see if it'll get it to 77. Oh, we're at 77. Is it going to shut off? Now it's shut off. Okay. I'm sure the pump's still going though. So that will be one of the big mysteries to solve is the pump. There goes the water draining back. So it's working. I don't understand why the relay's doing what it's doing, but I'm gonna have to play around with that. I want to put in a 220 relay, even though I don't see 220 there. That's what's so weird. I see like bizarre version of 110. It's easy enough to swap it out to 220. Later. Good morning. It is September 17th. Nice Sunday. Back to where I stand on diagnosing the AC. My theory last night, and I tried it real quick, was I needed to swap out the 110 relay with a 220 relay. I went and got my second 220 relay that I had brought back from home. That little guy right there. And plugged it up, turned it on, and it still didn't turn the pump on. Okay, why is that not turning the pump on? It's late, called it a night. So this morning I came in, I didn't want the compressor running because that needs water flow and everything, and I couldn't do my testing. So I disconnected one of the power leads going to the compressor, then turned the system on, went in there, made sure it was on, ran the temperature way down low, and actually while I was in there, I heard a click, and so I said, oh, well, I think the relay just tripped. And sure enough, I came out here, checked the ohmage on the contacts, and sure enough, it was 0. So I think what it is there's a time delay. Somewhere I remember reading in one of the manuals that when you first power the system up for compressor protection and stuff like that, it'll be a little while, but they also keep the pump off. Well, last night when I was testing it, that's what I didn't wait long enough for that to go and the timeout to occur. So it should all be working now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out that relay, stick that relay in, replug that guy in, go ahead and get that mounted back up against the wall, and then I'll go turn water on down below and we'll see if it works correctly. I still need one more breaker over on my power panel, so now I got to figure out where I'm going to stick a 5th breaker. So that's my plan. I'm going to swap out the relay and test it again, and if it's all working, great. I'll come back next weekend, set up the new breakers, and then start on this duct work that I've been wanting to work on forever and a day, because I kept thinking, oh, this wiring will hardly take any time whatsoever. Later. I'm going to go power it up. I want to test this right now. So we're actually going to test both units. So I'm going to go turn power on. We'll test the office one first to make sure it does everything it's supposed to do. There's power for back there. It's still just a 30 amp. Maybe okay as a 30 amp now. I don't know. I have to think about that. Okay, so, I gotta go open up the lines down below. So we're going to open the seacock, let water into the main system, and then we're going to open the valve for the plumbing. Okay, it seems like it has good water. Anyway, let's go test air conditioners. So we are going to try the office air conditioner first. So let's see, give us pump power, give us AC power. I can hear it spinning up. So far, no pump. So now we're just waiting for it to time out. It's just blowing warm air at the moment, which is what I would expect it to do. I think I got this thing set to 69 right now. Yeah, we're back to 70. Nope, there, it just kicked on. Okay, y'all probably couldn't hear it. Oh, and we got water. Yay, look at that. Cool. Okay, and we should see temperature start coming down and the air being blown. Yeah, down to 70, 69, 67, 69, 68. Cool. Okay, so we're blowing cool air there at high speed. Yeah, and having 220 go into the system definitely works a little better. So now we're going to hook up this guy. Okay, so now we got power to him. And that beast hooked up. We didn't lose power, so that's a good sign. So he's blowing cold. Oh yeah. This one doesn't have much of a timeout. So, and then the office in here should still be blowing. Oh yeah, 59. Definitely chilly in here. I can turn this into a Meatlocker. We'll get this puppy down to 40 degrees. Keep all the computer gear in here nice and chilly. I think I'm gonna let you go for a little while. This one's gonna take it down to 76, hopefully. And that one will take it down to 70, and we'll just see how they behave. Later. Units ran. That one took it down to 76 and cycled actually a couple of times, while this one was taking it down to 70, so it is now 70 in here. Only thing I don't like about this unit is the fan continues to blow. I don't know if there's an option where you can have the fan turn totally off or not. I'll have to just look at the manual at some point and figure that out. But it's working. Oh, and the other important thing is with both ACs not cooling, the water, as you can see, has stopped. I tracked down another 15 amp breaker, and the reason I'm going with a 15 amp breaker is I only have one 10 amp breaker. Check the manual, and the manual has you should use a 16 amp breaker. 16 amp for both 16 amp and for 110 or 220, whereas this one you can see when you get to the 9000 it's 25, 16, 32, 16, and so on. Probably not a true even split of power like other units. So I'm going to just use my two 15s like I already did. I'm going to power everything down, double check the water came on here. Yep, water's on. Yeah, so water came on for that unit. Relay box is working. Both units are working correctly. So now I can move to ducting. Of course I won't do till next week, although I want to finish up the electrical here so I don't have to mess with that next week. So anyway, That's what I'm going to take care of real quick here. Later. Okay, so we got this all wired up now. Haven't tried it yet. So what we have here is we have the master bedroom AC with the 30 amp breaker. We have the two 15 amps for the office, and then we have 5 amp for the pump. And then the way we have this lit up is we have this outer light indicates power to the panel, or power to all this, so that's the main breaker. This light indicates power to the master bedroom AC. This indicates power to the office AC. This one indicates if the pump is on, and this one over here will indicate if you have the breaker turned on. So this will mean you have power to the pump, and this will indicate that the pump is actually receiving power and should be doing water. So let's go turn main breaker on, and we should see one LED on when we come back. So flip that guy on, yeah, and he came on. As you can see, he is on. You could have done all this without any indicator lights, but I like indicator lights. They just tell me something. They give me warm and fuzzies. Okay, so now we can turn power onto the pump. So the pump has power, but it's not asking for power, or nothing's turned it on. So now we're going to turn the AC unit on, the office AC. So the office AC now has power, and I just heard it kick on. I'm going to go check it real quick and see where it's sitting temperature-wise. So yeah, it should kick on cooling in a moment. It's at 77, and I think it's set on, yeah, it's set on 70 still. We'll give it a moment. And when it kicks on, we should see the green light go on for the pump. We're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. Eventually it's, oh, there it goes. So it just turned on. So now we should have water flowing. Yep, starting. There we go, a little bit of water flowing. Okay, well that is good. So that AC unit should now be blowing some cooler air down to 68 already. So, yep, that one seems to be working. Then we'll turn on the big unit. Let's see, it's off over there. So now it has power. And if I come over here, and we're up to 80 and do system heat, system cool, it should kick on. And there it kicks on. So now that one's gone. So everything's lit up, everybody's getting water, everybody's happy. Yay! So all I gotta do is put the two panels over the units, and they will be, well, and clean up wires, but I'm probably gonna wait till next week because I'm not gonna leave these running. But anyway, I'm gonna let them cycle for a little while. I'm gonna start doing things to get ready to leave. So that's probably gonna be it. Later. It's really coming down all of a sudden. Huh. Wow, now it's blowing this way.